Have we really sunken this low? Am I gonna have to give harsh criticism to stupid characters that were meant to be stupid? Yep, we really have sunken this low, so we might as well get it over with.
What we have here is a whimsical adventure diving into the realms of fantasy to scope out the dumbest characters in existence. If you're unfamiliar, the real Shlemiel, sometimes known as Aaron's Magic Village, was a European-Israeli animated film released in 1995, then came to the US in 1997. It's a very rare film, so I don't think there are that many people who are familiar with it, and if you are, consider my thrashings a compliment.
Because oh boy, I got a lot to thrash about with this one, so get ready for a long ride. This is the real Shlemiel.
The film opens with some backstory, telling of how God created the earth and had angels distribute intelligence, wisdom, and foolishness across the inhabitants. But the angel with the foolishness, because he himself is foolish, ends up scattering foolishness everywhere in one single village.
So much for equal. Wherever this is landing is going to be one foolish place.
I've always wondered why I've never heard this part of the story. Now I know it's because it's kind of embarrassing.
Right now, the good people of Helm are preparing for Hanukkah, the happiest
Hang on, movie! We're still in the opening titles! Wait for the opening titles to be done, then get back to narrating!
Can Aaron save Helm? Hanukkah? The world?
What kind of focus group do they test this with? How much caffeine do they have to drink to catch all this narration?
So, we're introduced to our main character, Aaron. Aaron is a young orphan boy who travels with his goat named Zlata to the village of Helm, where his uncle Shlemiel lives.
I see my village slowly vanish from sight. Remember, remember.
Well, at least try to remember these songs.
And so I fill my mind with what I leave behind. Who knew today would find me journeying, journeying.
Following that song, we get a full-headed meeting with the villagers.
Shlemiel, our beetle, is finally going to have a son.
Sarah's going to have a baby? But how does Gronum know already that it's going to be a boy?
Our leader Gronum, in his infinite wisdom, is never wrong.
A village full of idiots. That's funny, right? Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny?
That such a wise place as this synagogue should house such foolishness.
Yeah, kind of a problem, isn't it? This place gets visitors, right? Imagine the frustrations they have to go through with the inhabitants.
Hello, sir. How may I help you? Yeah, I'd like some chicken fingers with barbecue sauce. You want a hamburger with mayonnaise? What? No, I don't like mayonnaise. I said I wanted chicken fingers with barbecue sauce. Oh, I see. You want macaroni with the condiments of goat milk. No! What kind of people do they hire here? I want chicken fingers with barbecue sauce. Oh yeah, you're looking for salami. I wasn't even that hungry to begin with.
Oh, Zlata, I wish you could talk.
It's not my fault if you can't understand me.
Uncle Shlemiel and Aunt Sarah will be my new parents.
Okay, you're giving the goat speaking lines that aren't even heard by humans. Sure, whatever.
When my journey is through, though I can't foresee what's in store for me.
As it turns out, the song's not done yet. Nah, I got a lot to live for.
Ready for tomorrow.
Aaron, turn back before it's too late.
You don't want to be a part of this, trust me.
The entire family was in a frenzy.
Oh, shut up, narrator. We can do without your voice, thank you very much. Just let the movie tell itself.
Let me guess, this is gonna be just like a family sitcom.
Ow! My hair!
Let's see now.
Oh, tangled.
Oh, what would you do without your mama?
Aaron makes his arrival and is greeted by his uncle Shlemiel.
Welcome to Helm.
I think that's one letter too long, and even then, I don't think you spelt it right. Shlemiel takes Aaron on a tour around town and takes him to different shops.
Sender, my friend, I'd like your finest shoes.
And we're going to sing about shoes! We're in for a ride.
They sing about every aspect, even trying them on.
They seem to be a little, well...
A detail. No problem. It's nothing. Wait, I'll fix it fast.
But knowing how stupid the town is, it doesn't work out.
But neither one of them is straight.
Everything here is crooked. Why should the shoes be straight?
Can I ask the same question about the writers?
They repeat this process with the jacket and the table. Thank goodness the song at least has the decency to end, so finally we cut to the villain, who, surprise surprise, is an evil sorcerer. His objective is to complete a golem to attack Helm. Only problem is, he's missing something in order to make it all work.
To bring him to life, follow instructions in the Book of Marvels?
Question. Have you ever seen a sorcerer wearing a curled up fox for a hat, least of all a living one? I thought the wizard from that Dragon Strike video was strange, wearing that dead animal on his head. Turns out the Book of Marvels is kept in Helm. You know, the place where this happened.
Shlemiel! Don't knock so hard! What kind of a sugar-up beetle is this?
Ow! Cinder! God save me from mending clothes the way you mend
Uncle
shoes!
Shlemiel!
Your tongue needs
Is this how it is
bridle.
every morning?
Yes, we hate each other this town. It's best to get used to it. That and the annoying cartoon sound effects.
You want to talk about them not hating each other? Aaron has to take a soggy loaf of bread home.
Now go and take it home with you, Aaron, and don't eat it up on the way.
You can't be the only one attracting diseases from it, you know. Shlemiel then goes to the synagogue to ask for a raise to help his poor family feed Aaron. But the rabbi instead suggests Shlemiel marries off his 3 daughters, so it would only be himself, his wife, and Aaron, meaning they could be rich. That's honestly the smartest idea anyone in this village has come up with.
Congratulations, you've astounded us again by the solutions you devise.
There's a whole song dedicated to that! Dang it! Just when I needed it most!
Also, what's with these scenes where they slam each other's butts together? Is that really necessary? Meanwhile, Aaron has to travel in order to sell his goat because she hasn't given milk for years.
Poor Aaron. How could he sell his best friend?
Gee, I didn't know he was feeling glum. I'm so glad I have a narrator to tell me this. As Shlemiel continues to sing about his rabbi's wisdom, the sorcerer's pet fox sneaks near the synagogue and hears that Shlemiel is thinking of a way to marry off his daughters. So he reports back to the sorcerer, who, disguised as a matchmaker, stops by Helm to tell Shlemiel about 3 young men whom she wants to marry off to 3 beautiful young women.
You probably want to see what they look like.
Wait a minute, her mouth isn't moving. You're telling me even a stupid person couldn't figure her out? Also, take a look at this crap where he's showing the pictures of the young men. They all clearly look the same, except 2 of them have colored marks to resemble facial hair. Even an idiot should be able to tell at least that these pictures were drawn on. Maybe I'm not giving him enough credit, though, because he's very resistant in giving up the Book of Marvels in exchange for the suitors, and his attempted negotiations cause the sorcerer to reveal himself for the trickery he is.
Tremble, beetle, before my power!
Looks like a storm.
I am a feared sorcerer.
Nice to meet you! What are their names? The names of the sons you want to marry off!
You fool!
The names! The names!
Can we be anachronistic for just a few seconds and have Shlemiel take an IQ test?
I have a hard time believing that he would be stupid enough to still believe this dude has sons he wants to marry off. Yes, I did see the opening. Yes, I am aware that all the stupidity went into this village because of a stupid angel. But there has to be some kind of limit to this level of stupidity. Oh look, here we are with Aaron again.
Oh, Zlata, get up! Please! Please, Zlata, get up!
I think she just caught hypothermia and died, kid. You probably shouldn't bother.
Actually, they just take shelter under a haystack as the storm starts getting worse. Meanwhile, the aunt starts to worry about Aaron and Shlemiel being out in the cold and wishes that some creature called a lentoch existed to help them out of their plight. Speaking of which...
I exist! I exist! I'm not a fable, not a myth. I exist!
Wow, what a way to introduce a character. Just have a song!
Only animals and children see and hear me. That's because I like them best. With a lantoch, you are totally blessed!
Yeah, totally a helpful little creature. Smashing up your dishes, ruining your meals.
That's probably just God being too generous for this creature's own good.
And what's the most important thing to know about this creature?
I'm 412 years old. That's old!
That's the absolute essential thing you'll need to know about the Lantuch, is how old it is.
Thankfully, this little crap is blown out of the house through the chimney. But it doesn't stop there.
I know! Don't you want to be rid of that pesky little thing? Don't you just want to see it freeze to death? Don't you just want to— I wanted that too! But here's what we got instead!
While Aaron and his goat are enjoying the warmth of the haystack, Aaron finds out he lost his biscuits in the storm and is about to find them, but the tiny little munchkin makes a visit.
Ooh, a tiny little man!
I'm not a tiny little man! I'm a Lantuch, at least that's what I think. But I fear that as soon as I flew into you, my brain went on the blink.
Shut up.
I used to be certain how old I was, but after such a blow,
shut up.
By 412, or 206, or 1204, I don't know.
You're 412, how can you forget? Oh, right. You got lucky. If I had even one in that thing, I can rest easy.
A Lantuch with amnesia. What next?
Hopefully not a terrible running gag that gets stale almost immediately.
I used to know a spell for finding biscuits in a storm.
I hate you.
So he tries the spell, but instead of finding biscuits, they're sent straight back to the haystack. And now all of a sudden, the goat gives milk.
When Aunt Sarah sees this, she won't want to sell you anymore.
Maybe keeping this Lantuch isn't such a bad idea. Oh, wait, yes it is!
Shlemiel stops by to tell the rabbi about what he found, and then he thinks he already knows, when really the rabbi is just talking about some carp they proclaim to be evil just because they were slapped and spat at by it.
So what'll we do?
I'd better not eat him.
The sorcerer?
The carp is a sorcerer?
The sorcerer is a carp?
Oh, no, what is on second base?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Well, don't change the players.
I'm not changing nobody.
So after that, Shlemiel finally tells the rabbi about the sorcerer and mentions that he wants the Book of Marvels. Tell me, why did God want—
Shh. What? I'm just asking a question.
If the Almighty wants to put the most sacred of books in the hands of fools for safekeeping, who are we to tell him no?
Men of actual—
Shh.
D
Shh.
said C.
Shh.
Who's shushing?
Shh.
Men of actual decency. Movie, you are making God look like a lazy, incompetent jackwagon. First, he lets one of his villages be populated by freaking idiots, and those same idiots are tasked with keeping a sacred book safe. That is not a good idea. If I were God, I would have had that book kept safe with people that have brains. Not the type that made crooked shoes, unstable chairs, and soggy bread. If I want something to be safe, I want the defenders to be completely competent. Well, now that I went on that rant.
Aaron and his friends meet up with a traveling salesman who offers to take them with him to Helm. You know what that means? A song that practically repeats what we already know. And it's sung by two characters that can't even be heard by anyone else.
Ah, Helm. I know Helm. That's where stupidity is handed down intact from the fathers to the sons.
We're here a while, folks.
Shlemiel is, without surprise, tasked with hiding the Book of Marvels. And where does he ultimately hide it? In the exact same spot where it was taken from.
Now do you see what I'm talking about?
Oh, and on top of that, he hides the key in his shoe. Smart place to hide it. Might as well just put it in your pocket.
Oh, my foot hurts. Oh, that Sender and his cockeyed shoe. Oh.
Are you sure that's not because you yourself put a key in your shoe? Where do these people's stupidity end?
For goodness sake, they got foolishness spread all over the town by one of God's angels, but did they have to go full retard mode the whole time?
I know I'm stressing this a lot, but how can one entire town be this stupid?
After Aaron and Shlemiel make it back home, Shlemiel tells his family about how he's traveling to Warsaw to find husbands for his daughters.
I used to know a spell for marrying off young girls.
I don't want to know what other spells you used to know about.
I I once knew a spell for taking care of...
Santa.
But I...
While Shlemiel is on his way, he falls asleep after saying out loud where he put the book and the key.
The book is hidden on the top of the chest in the synagogue, and the key is safely hidden in my shoe.
Okay, maybe not that loud, but loud enough for a sly fox to overhear. But wait, Shlemiel first needs to point his shoes in the right direction before he dozes off. That way, the fox can steal the key, then turn the shoes in the opposite direction, and report back to the sorcerer.
My foot doesn't hurt anymore.
What's next? Some more unfunny...
I know a spell for cleaning synagogues.
Don't you cast it! Don't you freaking dare cast it!
How about a spell for stacking books?
You don't need to cast a spell, just stack the books!
What do you want? What are you doing? Stop! Stop!
Do something!
Do something!
Do something! Out of my way, worthless child.
Aaron!
So yeah, the sorcerer gets out with the Book of Marvels and...
I used to know a spell for stopping thieves. Let me see now.
Well, I used to know a spell for getting little crapheads like you to shut the heck up!
Apparently, Aaron has to verbally convey to the town that the Book of Marvels has been stolen because they're so stupid they forgot how to look to the door of the synagogue at the sound of a horse's hoofbeats.
Yeah, that's how stupid they are. I gotta make fun of it. It's a contractual obligation. I don't like doing it.
Ugh, finally we get to see Shlemiel making it back to Helm, but he mistakes it for a completely different village that just so happens to look like Helm.
This village is called Helm. But I just left Helm.
Let me guess, he's gonna think it's a completely different Helm than when he left, despite having all the same inhabitants and buildings.
Hey, Shlemiel! What happened to you? We were worried.
Who are you?
Sender the shoemaker. Who else?
This must be another Helm. No doubt about it, there are two Helms.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home?
This is why you don't make characters this retarded, especially if it takes up most of the cast.
It especially gets awkward when he meets back with his family.
Just a minute, madam. I am not your husband. And I'm not your father. No, and I am not your uncle.
He's so dumb he doesn't recognize his own family the way he ought to. This is pure genius!
Back with the sorcerer with his newfound Book of Marvels. He finally summons the golem and sends it out to destroy Helm. Okay, now all of a sudden Helm turned to a 3D model created within a computer.
Is that for when the golem strikes?
Indeed it is. As the golem makes his way through the village, Aaron and Shlemiel have to avoid the poorly edited CGI pieces of wood.
Seriously, why did they use CGI for this part? They couldn't draw the buildings being destroyed.
It's not even that impressive either. It blends terribly with the 2D characters, and on top of that, even the destruction looks like garbage. If the golem was a 3D model, maybe it'd look more consistent, but he's not. He's still 2D.
Excellent. Excellent.
Excellent!
Wouldn't you have liked to have seen at least one of those giggling idiots go down with a ship for their stupidity? Well, that doesn't happen. They all hide in the synagogue because the golem cannot enter.
What's that? They didn't think the golem would leave the synagogue alone?
Within the synagogue, everyone huddled fearfully, waiting for the final blow.
But they know the synagogue is a sacred place, don't they? If they didn't think the golem would leave the synagogue alone, why did they even go there? Why did they evacuate the village? They made the right decision, but they didn't think they did? What goes on in their minds?
This is only a temporary blessing, however, because if the golem lives past the Sabbath, it'll become immortal and destroy the world. If only they had that Book of Marvels. Aaron hasn't given up hope and starts his journey to the castle.
Aaron, wait! Aaron, wait, I said! Ho!
He can't hear you! Dang it, I knew the stupidity of the village was contagious!
Once they get to the gate is really the only part where the land hook comes in handy thanks to his size. He gets through a hole in the locked gate and uses the key on the other side to open it up.
That's nice and all, but we could just have the goat ram the door down, just saying.
They make their way to the castle and find the sorcerer making his evil plans in his evil throne room. He's also taking this whole not destroying the synagogue thing pretty well.
I should never have used clay that came from Helm.
As Aaron sneaks to read a passage from the Book of Marvels after the sorcerer leaves, Lantuch decides it's a good idea to wander around the place and risk getting caught. Seriously, this guy would be a terrible secret agent. He can't keep his mouth shut and he wanders around too much.
I used to know a spell for keeping old doors from squeaking.
I know exactly what that spell is. It's called not touching the door!
This guy needs a spell for everything, it seems. And as you'd expect, he causes a suit of armor to fall over and their cover's blown.
Golem, rise!
Are you happy now?
Yes, I worked with the sorceress the whole time. I faked the amnesia in order to trick you and to let me accompany you.
In the struggle for the book, it falls in the fireplace and is instantly destroyed.
I don't think fire can destroy things that quickly.
Our heroes make their escape, but as the golem catches up, the sorcerer tries to finish them off, but the golem protects them.
Golem, you have betrayed me!
I used to know a spell. Oh! A spell!
Pray for your soul, little boy.
For turning sorcerers to stone. Amagalabada kibilapirina beastie!
You did it, Lanta! You did it!
Well, I guess the best way to restore your memory is the same way you lost your memory. Except this time hitting your head on a harder object!
I don't understand the logic. First he hits his head on Aaron, he loses his memory. Then a rock hits him on the head, and now his memory's back? I don't get it! So now, in order to destroy the golem, Aaron is told he needs to erase the first letter from the golem's head. Even if reluctant after what the golem did, he does so anyway. With Aaron returning to tell of his heroic deeds, it seems like every loose end is tied, right? Wrong! After another round of weird butt bashing, they finally decide on punishing that evil carp.
This insolent carp must die by drowning.
Why did it be so stupid? Stupid, stupid.
Okay. Glad I built all that up to really let it out. I'm okay now.
After that, the idiots leave the ruins of Helm to live elsewhere.
We're off to Helm number 1.
No, you're off to a mental hospital.
Farewell, brave Aaron. Such courage you showed in fighting evil. I made the Hanukkah candles like a ray of hope. Light your way to a new home.
Boy, am I glad that's over with, because I don't know how much longer I can take this stupidity!
These characters were meant to be stupid, but what they did was flanderize the stupidity. As a result, we got horrible characters, jokes that fall flat, and it's overall not only nothing special, but an incredibly annoying film. In fact, I'm convinced the film itself was written by total idiots who are as idiotic as the characters they created.
Now, I don't want to catch the stupid virus, so I'll be on my way, if you don't mind.